Hi, and welcome to an extremely special edition of Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains. Why, you may ask? Because we're going to be talking with Bob Boze Bell. You know, what's your feeling on a lot of these incidents that have happened in other states like Utah or Colorado or New Mexico being attributed to the Superstition Mountains because it's a little more famous than the others? What do you think about that?
I am just amazed that that legend has the legs that it has. I live out here in Cave Creek, Arizona, and the legend extends out here. There are miners up here, Pete the miner, okay? And he claims that the Dutchman's clues bring the hidden mine up to this area, okay? Because if you go out toward Bartlett Lake, which is east of here, and you get up on a certain knoll, you can see Weaver's Needle. And so he has, there's a local legend here, and I'll bet you there's probably a legend in Kingman, my hometown. It's just that these legends won't die, and they're fantastic. We don't want them to die because you know why? Because if they die, then I don't have a magazine.
I'm sure you've interviewed Tom Cullenborn and Bob Corbin and these people who are associated with the history of the Superstition Mountains. Have you found out anything from them?
I've never met anyone who didn't share everything they knew, whether I wanted to hear it or not, because that's part of the disease of my profession, is that we love this stuff. We're obsessed with it, okay? And the worst thing you can do if you're talking to me is tell me a little bit about the OK Corral. Well, if you got an hour and a half, maybe I might give you the Cliff Notes version of it, okay? And that's the wonderment of this. You know, yes, I've talked to Bob Corman, and he was very passionate. They're very passionate about this story, and it's infectious. You go, dang, maybe I better go out there and see this. And so that's what it is. It's great storytelling. The names are fantastic. You're not going to improve upon this. And if there's any luck, it'll never die. And it's something that some other generations will be talking about as well.
I get this question all the time, so I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the story of the Dutchman in the Superstition Mountains?
I have mixed feelings about this. I got the bug when I was in college, and a whole bunch of roommates of mine were going to take camping gear, and we were going to go find it. There's something eternal about treasure and about finding stuff. As I've gotten older now, I don't think that maybe 1% of them are true, and the rest is... you know, the Texans have a saying, if you can't improve upon a story, you have no business retelling it. And so these stories grow and they become more legendary. But I don't think there's anything that's more magical than the Superstition Mountains and that the secrets that are in there. It's just really a fantastic place. And the Apache Trail, if you haven't gone up the Apache Trail, then you are not an Arizonan. You do not belong here.
Do you really think there was a mine that Jacob Waltz found?
That is a great question. Yes, I think there was a mine. I think it's been exaggerated, probably above 80%, probably. And as you mentioned earlier, treasure stories from other areas are put on top of this to give it a little more, you know, sexiness to go. And I would make a prediction that it's never going to be found in my lifetime. Now, I'm sick and I may die tomorrow, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you're ever going to find that mine.
Do you think that the mine has already been found, or do you think it ever will be found?
I think that by now, this late date, if there hasn't been treasures that have been exposed and found, that it's never going to be found because it doesn't really exist in the way that the legend says. That's my theory. And for people to say, I found it, I'm not going to show you, yeah, well, I got a mine in my backyard I'd like to sell you.
Bob, while I've got you here, I hate to let you go. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about the Superstition Mountains?
Well, I just love history in Arizona. I just love the history of the superstitions. It's just fantastic. It's magical. And I think that it's why I got into the business of running True West magazine, which is, I'm in my 20th year now. Can you believe that? And this is a magazine I read as a kid, and I got into it because my grandmother told me that Wyatt Earp was the biggest jerk who ever walked the West, and I couldn't believe it because my favorite TV show was Hugh O'Brien and Wyatt Earp. And I thought, wow, the TV never lies. Who's telling the truth here? And it made me so mad that I bought a magazine to tell the truth about the Old West, and I'm still doing it. When, if any luck, I'll be doing it when the Superstition mine, the Jacob Waltz mine, is found.
Very special thanks to Bob Boze Bell for sharing his thoughts, the history, and opinions on the Superstition Mountains. Still, plenty of mysteries to come on this show, which is, well, what's this titled? Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains.